New Mexico Territory, 1886. Dust rolled low across the Reed Ranch as Cole brought his horse through the gate. The afternoon wind worried at the barn doors and pushed dry grass against the porch steps. Anna Reed stood beneath the porch roof with both hands empty. 30 years old, a widow, and the only person between her family and the loss of everything they had left. Cole dismounted without touching the revolver at his hip. I was 42, broad through the shoulders, weathered by years of riding prisoners between towns that rarely agreed on what justice meant. He reached inside his coat. Anna's eyes followed his hand, not to the gun, to the folded warrant. Behind her, 17-year-old Sam Pike froze beside the barn. A horseshoe slipped from his fingers and struck the dirt with a dull iron sound. Cole heard it. Anna heard it. Neither looked away from the other. "I'm looking for your brother," Cole said. The wind moved a strand of dark hair across Anna's cheek. She left it there, dead or alive. Alive. Her gaze dropped once to the warrant, then returned to his face. "Then Ross Kain lied to you?" Cole said nothing. I had heard that sentence in different forms for years. Every wanted man had a mother who swore he was innocent. Every frightened family had a reason the law had made a mistake. But Anna Reed was not pleading. That bothered him more than pleading would have. She stepped aside from the doorway, not inviting him in, only making it clear she would not run. The ranch behind her was small but working. Cattle shifted beyond the fence. A saddle hung from a rail. Feed sacks were stacked under canvas near the barn. This was not abandoned land, waiting for a new owner. People lived here. People depended on it. Cole unfolded the warrant. Anna's brother was accused of murder. Ross Kain's testimony had helped put his name on the paper. The same Ross Kain who had been trying to claim a mortgage against the Reed Ranch. Cole looked toward Sam. The boy had gone pale. "Something you want to tell me?" Sam stared at the road behind Cole. His throat moved before any words came. Anna turned toward him. "Sam?" The boy's voice came low, barely louder than the wind against the barn boards. "Mr. Wade." Cole waited. Sam finally raised his eyes. Ross Kain wasn't where he told the court he was that night. Then hoofbeats sounded somewhere beyond the south ridge, and Sam stopped breathing. The hoofbeats passed the south ridge without turning toward the ranch. A lone rider moved along the distant road, half hidden by dust, and Sam Pike finally let out the breath he had been holding. Cole Wade noticed. Fear had a way of pointing toward the truth before words ever did. He folded the warrant and slipped it back inside his coat. "Barn." Anna looked at him. "If the boy talks, he talks where I can hear him." Cole gave one short nod. Inside, the air smelled of hay, leather, and horse sweat. Sunlight came through the boards in thin yellow lines. Sam stood near an empty stall, rubbing one palm against his trousers, as though he could wipe away whatever he had seen. Cole kept several feet between them. "You told me Ross Kain lied in court." Sam swallowed. "I said he wasn't where he claimed." "Then tell me where he was." Anna stayed near the barn door. She said nothing. Sam stared at the packed earth. "The night Mr. Reed was accused of killing that man, I went after a bay gelding that slipped the north fence." Cole waited. No pressure, no raised voice. Silence usually did more work than threats. "I saw Kain's horse near the old cattle road." Sam continued. "How was there? How close?" "Close enough to know the horse." "And Kain?" Sam hesitated. "I saw him when he crossed the road." Cole's eyes narrowed. "At the time he told the court he was somewhere else?" "Yes." Anna's jaw tightened. "Why didn't you speak?" Sam looked at her then. For the first time, shame replaced fear. "Because Ross came here the next morning." Anna went still. "He talked to you?" "He didn't have to," Sam said. "He stood by the corral and asked if I still rode alone after dark." The barn seemed quieter after that. Cole had heard threats dressed in cleaner language. They were usually the ones men meant most. "Did you see the killing?" "No." "Did you see Anna's brother kill anyone?" "No." "Did you see Ross Kain kill anyone?" Sam shook his head. "No." Cole looked toward Anna. There it was. Not proof of innocence. Not yet. But enough to put a crack through the testimony, holding the warrant together. Anna stepped closer. "What happens now?" Cole took the paper out again. "A frightened boy contradicting a cattle buyer won't stop this warrant." Her eyes hardened. "Then what will?" "Something that can survive a courtroom." He unfolded the document beneath the strip of sunlight. Ross Kain's name appeared in the testimony, but farther down, another reference caught Cole's eye. Reed Ranch, mortgage claim, Ross Kain. Cole read the line twice, then raised his eyes to Anna. How long has Kain been trying to take this ranch? Anna did not answer Cole's question right away. She crossed the barn, lifted the lantern from a nail, and walked toward the house. Come inside. The kitchen table was scarred from years of knives, hot pans, and account books. Anna opened a wooden box and began laying papers across it. Tax receipts, cattle bills, feed accounts, a survey notice, then a mortgage bearing the Reed name. Cole pulled the lamp closer. How much? More than this ranch ever borrowed. Anna remained standing. My husband never signed that. Cole looked up. You're certain? Her eyes hardened. I buried him, Mr. Wade. I knew what he owed. Cole let the answer settle. I had learned not to argue with certainty until paper gave him a reason. The signature looked clean, maybe too clean. He found an older livestock receipt from the same hand and placed it beside the mortgage. The letters were close enough to fool someone who wanted them to match, but the date bothered him more. This was witnessed 3 weeks before the killing. Anna nodded, and Kain began asking about our north pasture not long after. Cole read the mortgage again. Ross Kain was listed as creditor if the debt stood, and if Anna's brother was convicted of murder while fighting the claim. The Reed family would look less like victims and more like desperate people trying to escape what they owed. A court might question every word Anna offered afterward. Ross would not need to prove much more. I would only need everyone else to stop believing the Reeds. Cole leaned back. That murder charge doesn't just threaten your brother. Anna looked toward the dark window. No, it ruins the family name. And once that happens, she said, who in Red Mesa is going to believe me when I say this mortgage is false? Cole had no answer. Worth giving. Outside, cattle pressed against the fence as the wind rose. Sam moved somewhere near the barn. A hammer struck wood twice and stopped. Anna finally sat across from Cole. What do you need? It was the first question she had asked him. That was not an accusation, something stronger than suspicion. Cole said, a witness who can hold up under questioning, records that don't match Kain's story, anything showing why he needed your brother blamed before this debt was challenged. Anna studied him. You believe me now? Cole folded the mortgage. I believe somebody worked very hard to make this paper look ordinary. Before Anna could answer, hoofbeats rolled into the yard. Slow, measured, unhurried. Cole looked toward the window. Anna did not. She already knew the horse. Ross Kain had come to Reed Ranch. And this time, he was carrying papers of his own. Ross Kain tied his horse to the rail, as though the ranch already belonged to him. I was 48, well-dressed for a man who spent his money in cattle country, with clean boots and a dark coat that had seen more offices than corrals. He carried no visible weapon. Cole distrusted that immediately. Men like Ross rarely needed to reach for one themselves. Anna stepped onto the porch before he could knock. What do you want? Ross removed his hat. An end to this. His voice was calm, almost courteous. Cole remained inside the doorway where Ross could see him. That changed something in the cattle buyer's face. Not fear. Calculation. I heard Mr. Wade found his way out here, Ross said. I did. Anna answered. Ross lifted the papers in his hand. The court has already heard testimony. Your brother has a warrant against him. The mortgage is recorded. You can keep fighting all three until there's nothing left to fight for. Anna did not move. Ross placed the papers on the porch rail. Or we settle. Cole watched her. Not Ross. This decision belonged to Anna. What settlement? She asked. You stop contesting the mortgage, Ross said. When the criminal matter is finished, possession transfers cleanly. No public auction. No sheriff emptying your house into the road. You leave with enough money to begin somewhere else. The wind lifted one corner of the document. Anna pinned it down with 2 fingers. My husband never signed this. Ross gave a small sigh. The county record says otherwise. You mean your record says otherwise? For the first time, the courtesy thinned. Cole saw it. So did Anna. Then Ross glanced past her toward the barn. Sam stood in the shade near the open doors. Their eyes met, only for a second. Sam looked down. Ross looked back to Anna. But Cole had already seen enough. Fear moved faster than testimony. And Sam Pike was afraid of this man. Anna pushed the papers back across the rail. No, Ross did not touch them. You should consider what happens next. I just did. A long silence settled between them. Ross put on his hat. Then he looked directly at Cole. You were hired to carry out a warrant. I remember, Cole said. Then do your job. Cole's face did not change. That's what I'm trying to do. Ross rode away without another word. They watched until the dust swallowed him beyond the gate. Cole turned to Anna. Get Sam off this ranch. Her expression changed. You think Kain knows? I think Kain just looked at that boy, like he'd forgotten to finish something. That night, a board cracked inside the barn. Anna reached the yard first. Cole was seconds behind her. Sam's bedroll was empty. His horse was gone, and fresh tracks led south into the dark. Cole was in the saddle before Anna reached the gate. She came behind him with her own horse already bridled. You're staying here, Cole said. Anna swung into the saddle. No, this may be Kain's work. That's exactly why I'm coming. Cole looked at her once, then turned south. There was no time left for arguing. The tracks were easy at first. Sam's horse had left the ranch fast, throwing dirt from the hard ground. But half a mile beyond the south fence, another set joined them. Then another. Cole dismounted. He crouched beside the prince and touched the edge of one hoof mark. 2 riders. Anna studied the trail. They forced him off the road. Cole looked up. How do you know? That wash cuts toward the old cattle trail, she said. Sam wouldn't take it at night unless somebody made him. Cole mounted again. For the first time since arriving at Reed Ranch, he followed Anna. The trail narrowed between low ridges, where moonlight barely reached the ground. A broken mesquite branch pointed east. Then they found Sam's hat. Anna picked it up without speaking. Cole watched her fingers tighten around the brim. I had seen people panic over less. Anna did not. She tucked the hat beneath her saddle strap. Keep moving. Near dawn, they found Sam's horse wandering loose beside a dry arroyo. Cole checked the reins. One leather strap had been cut, not broken. Cut. Anna saw it too. He didn't run. No, Cole said. Somebody wanted it to look like he did. They followed footprints down into the arroyo. 20 minutes later, Cole raised one hand. A figure was sitting beneath an overhang of rock. Sam. His wrists had been tied in front of him. One side of his face was swollen, but he was alive. Anna reached him first. She cut the rope with Cole's knife and pressed a canteen into his hands. Who did this? Sam drank before answering. I don't know their names. Cole crouched beside him. What did they want? They kept asking what I told you, Sam said, and what I knew about the mortgage. Anna went still. Cole felt the shape of the case change again. Ross. Ken was no longer protecting a lie from the past. I was protecting something that still mattered now. Sam looked at Anna. There's more. His voice shook. Kain sent papers into town yesterday. What papers? Anna asked. Sam swallowed. To move against the ranch. Cole's eyes lifted toward the eastern sky. The sun was coming up, and somewhere in Red Mesa, Ross Kain was already using it. They returned to Reed Ranch after sunrise. Sam rode between them. I was bruised, exhausted, and quieter than before. Anna wanted him inside. Cole wanted him hidden. But there was no place on the ranch that could hide him from a man who already knew where he slept. By noon, the answer came from town. A notice had been nailed to the front gate. Anna read it once, then again. Foreclosure proceedings had been accelerated. The mortgage, Ross Kain claimed was valid, would be presented for forced sale unless challenged immediately. The date was closer than it should have been. Too close for comfort. Too close for accident. Anna tore the notice from the post. He's trying to finish this before anyone questions the murder testimony. Cole took the paper from her. He doesn't need the murder case finished. She looked at him. What? He only needs your family discredited, long enough for nobody to trust your challenge. The words landed harder than shouting would have. If Anna's brother stood accused of murder, if Sam was painted as a frightened boy, changing his story, if Anna was portrayed as a widow, desperate to save property, her family had already pledged away. Ross would not need everyone to believe him forever, only until the ranch changed hands. Anna walked toward the corral. Cattle crowded along the fence. Feed was already running low. 2 ranch hands waited near the barn, watching her for direction. Life on the ranch did not stop, because a court notice had arrived. Animals still needed tending. Fences still broke. Bills still came due. Cole watched Anna lift a feed ledger from the tack room and begin calculating what remained. How long can you hold this place if they freeze your credit? She did not look up. Maybe 3 weeks. The sale is sooner than that. I know. Cole folded the foreclosure notice. For 20 years, papers had given him direction, warrants, transfer orders, prisoner receipts, documents that told him where a man belonged and who had authority to put him there. Now every paper around Reed Ranch seemed to point toward the same result, and none of them answered the question that mattered. Who had lied first? Anna closed the ledger. You can still take my brother in. Cole looked at her. That what you want? No, but it would get you out of this. There it was, the door he had been looking for since he arrived. Complete the warrant. Right away. Let the courts decide the rest. Cole stared toward the gate, where the foreclosure notice had been hanging. Then he looked at Sam, at Anna, at the cattle behind the fence. No, I said. Not yet. Anna's expression shifted. What does that mean? It means I'm checking the testimony before I deliver anyone. And if your employers object? Cole slipped the warrant back into his coat. Then they'll have to wait their turn. Anna held his gaze. For the first time, there was no anger in it, only understanding, and something more dangerous than trust. Hope. Then a rider appeared on the road from town. He carried another folded notice, and Cole knew before the man reached the gate. Ross Kain had made his next move. The rider from town stopped at the gate and handed Cole the folded notice without dismounting. Cole read it once, then again. The county wanted Anna's brother delivered immediately. Sam Pike was also ordered to appear for questioning. 2 names, 1 piece of paper, and enough authority behind it to ruin everyone at Reed Ranch before sunset. Anna stood beside him. What happens if you take them in? Cole kept his eyes on the notice. Your brother goes into custody. And Sam? He gets questioned. By who? Cole looked toward the road. That was the part he did not like. Ross Kain had influence in Red Mesa. Maybe not enough to own the law, but enough to know which doors opened when he knocked. Sam came out of the barn with one side of his face still bruised. Mine saw the paper. His shoulders tightened. I'll go. Anna turned sharply. No. If I don't, they'll say I'm lying. They already tried to make you disappear. Sam looked at Cole. What would you do, sir? Cole hated the question. Years earlier, a frightened witness had stood in front of him and told a story Cole wanted to believe. Cole had delivered a man into custody before checking what did not fit. By the time the truth surfaced, there had been nothing left to repair. He had spent years avoiding that kind of decision. Now Red Mesa had put it back in his hands. Cole folded the order. I'm not handing you over today. Anna stared at him. Sam did too. Cole's voice stayed quiet. I'll take your statement somewhere Kain cannot reach it first. And my brother? Anna asked. He stays where he is until somebody answers why Kain lied. The wind pushed dust across the yard. Cole knew exactly what he had just done. I had delayed a lawful warrant, refused a direct order, and tied his own name to 2 people the county already distrusted. There would be no explaining it away later as caution. This was a choice. Anna stepped closer. You can still ride out. Cole looked at her. So can you. Her eyes went toward the ranch, the cattle, the barn, the house her family had fought to keep. No. Cole nodded. Then neither can I. That was the moment the road behind him closed. Not with gunfire, not with blood, just a folded order in his hand, and a decision he could not take back. Sam reached into his shirt. There's something else. He pulled out a scrap of paper. A date, a livestock delivery number, and 1 name, the murdered man. I heard Kain ask him about this before he died. Cole looked at Anna. The murder and the mortgage were no longer separate. Now they only had to prove why. They worked through the afternoon at Anna's kitchen table. No hidden confession appeared. No perfect document waited in a drawer. Only fragments, dates, receipts, cattle tallies, the mortgage, Sam's memory, and the scrap of paper he had carried since the night everything changed. Cole laid them out in order. The murdered man had handled livestock deliveries for several ranches around Red Mesa. 1 delivery number on Sam's scrap matched a cattle transaction involving Ross Kain. The date fell 2 days before the mortgage had been recorded. Anna found the corresponding entry in an old ranch ledger. Her finger stopped halfway down the page. We never received these cattle. Cole leaned closer. The number was there. So was a charge against the Reed account, large enough to explain part of the debt Ross claimed they owed. Anna went still. He built the debt from cattle that never came here. Maybe. Cole said. We still have to prove it. Sam said across from them. I heard the dead man tell Kain the numbers were wrong. Cole looked at him. Exact words. Sam shut his eyes. He said somebody would notice. A silence followed. That was not proof. Ross had killed him, but it gave the murdered man a reason to become dangerous to somebody profiting from the false debt. Anna gathered the papers. If this is right, my brother was blamed because he had already argued with Kain about the mortgage. Cole nodded, and once he was accused of murder, anything he said about Kain looked like desperation. The pattern was tightening. Still not enough, but enough to survive another day. Outside, the evening wind rattled the shutters. Cole rose. I need to get this in front of someone before Kain moves again. Anna watched him reach for his coat. You should leave alone. No. I mean leave Red Mesa. Cole stopped. She looked at the warrant beneath his hand. You've already risked your work. If this goes wrong, they'll call you part of it. He said nothing. Anna's voice lowered. You don't owe us that. Cole walked toward the door. For one moment, Anna thought he had taken the offer. Then he crossed the yard to his horse. He'd removed the saddle, carried it into the barn, and set it on the rail. Anna stood in the doorway. You staying? Cole looked toward the darkening road. For tonight. It was not a promise. That made it mean more. At dawn, they rode into town with Sam between them. The hearing had been moved forward. Ross Kain was already there. So were the mortgage papers. And before the sun went down, Reed Ranch might belong to someone else. The hearing room was already full when Cole, Anna, and Sam stepped inside. Ross Kain sat near the front, with the mortgage papers stacked neatly beside him. I looked prepared. That worried Cole more than anger would have. Sam slowed at the doorway. Anna touched his shoulder once, not to push him forward, only to remind him he was not standing there alone. The questioning began with the mortgage. Ross spoke calmly about money loaned to the Reed family, about unpaid debt, about a ranch he claimed he had every legal right to take. Then the murder came into it. He repeated the same story that had helped place Anna's brother under warrant. Cole listened without interrupting until Ross gave the time. Then Cole stood. You said you were in town that night. Ross looked at him. That is correct. Cole turned toward Sam. The boy's face had gone pale again, but this time, he did not look away. I saw Mr. Kain on the old cattle road, Sam said. The room changed, not loudly, just enough. Ross leaned back. A frightened boy can mistake one horse for another. Sam swallowed. I know your horse. Ross smiled. That proves very little. It proves you lied about where you were, Anna said. Ross looked at her, and for the first time, the calm left his face. Anna placed the ranch ledger beside the mortgage. These cattle were charged against the Reed account, she said. They never came to our ranch. Cole set Sam's scrap of paper beside it. The same delivery number, the same date. The murdered man had handled the shipment records. Sam spoke again. I heard him tell Kain the numbers were wrong. Ross turned toward him. You heard nothing. Cole stepped between them. Careful. The word was quiet. It carried farther than shouting. Cole then produced the contradictions he had gathered. Ross's claimed location, the false cattle charge, the mortgage recorded after the disputed delivery, the murdered man's objection. None of it alone proved who committed the killing. Together, it made Ross's testimony impossible to treat as clean evidence. The murder accusation against Anna's brother could no longer rest on Ross's word alone, and the foreclosure could not move forward without examining whether the debt itself had been manufactured. Ross did not confess. Men like him rarely did. He simply began denying more than one honest man should need to deny. The hearing ended without Reed Ranch changing hands. The mortgage was challenged. The murder case had to be reconsidered. Sam's statement entered the record, but Cole's own decision came with him out the door. I had delayed a warrant, refused an order, and made himself responsible for it. Anna found him outside beside his horse. The saddle was already on. She looked at it, then at him. You leaving? Cole tightened one strap. I don't know if they'll let me keep doing this work. Anna said nothing. Neither did he. For once, surviving the truth did not feel much like winning. 3 days later, Reed Ranch sounded like a ranch again, not like a courtroom, not like a place waiting to be taken. A hammer struck fence posts near the north pasture. Cattle moved through dry grass. A gate complained on one hinge. Each time the wind pushed it open, nothing had become easy. The mortgage was still being examined. The murder charge against Anna's brother had not vanished. It had only lost the false certainty Ross Kain had built around it. Sam returned to work with the bruise fading from his face. He talked less than before, but when someone rode past the ranch road, he no longer stopped breathing. Anna spent the morning counting cattle and checking feed. There were still bills, still repairs, still weeks of work before anyone could say the ranch was safe. That mattered to her. She had never wanted a miracle, only the chance to keep what her family had worked for. Cole came out of the barn carrying his saddle. Anna saw him from the fence. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Cole set the saddle over the rail. "I came to give you this." He handed her the folded warrant. The edges were worn now. Anna looked at the name written across it, her brother's name, the paper that had brought Cole Wade to Red Mesa. "What am I supposed to do with it?" "Nothing," Cole said. "It doesn't decide what happens next." Anna folded it once more, smaller this time, then slipped it into the pocket of her work dress. Cole looked toward his horse. Anna followed his eyes. "You have somewhere to go?" "There's always somewhere." "That wasn't what I asked." I looked back at her. The wind moved dust between them. No music, no promises, no easy words. Anna pointed toward the north fence. "3 posts are loose." Cole glanced at them. "That's so? You noticed them the first day." "I notice things." "I know." She picked up the hammer from the ground and held it out. Cole looked at the hammer, then at his saddled horse. For years, leaving had been the simplest part of every job. Find the man, deliver the prisoner, collect the pay, ride on before anything could ask more of him. Red Mesa had taken that simplicity away. Cole removed his gloves. I took the hammer. Anna turned toward the fence without waiting to see whether he followed. I did. They worked without saying much. 1 post, then another. Nothing about it looked like a victory. Maybe that was why it felt real. By sunset, the ranch was still standing. Anna was still there. So was Cole. The warrant remained folded in her pocket. And for the first time since he had ridden through the gate, Cole Wade had nowhere else he needed to be. Thank you for staying with Cole and Anna all the way to the end of this story. Sometimes the hardest kind of courage is not drawing a gun, but choosing the truth when walking away would cost less. If this journey through Red Mesa stayed with you, leave a comment and tell me what choice you would have made in Cole's place. And if you enjoy stories of love, justice, survival, and second chances on the American frontier, subscribe and join us for the next Western story. Disclaimer: this is a fictional Western romance story inspired by life on the 19th century American frontier. Characters, events, dialogue, and dramatic situations are created for storytelling purposes. Historical settings and cultural details are researched for authenticity.